You want to say anything? Question? Yes.
Well, I didn't know
Sure.
So in the kitchen scene where you start to use some hazy background effects, were you foreshadowing the surreal ending, or what were you aiming for with those effects?
You're talking about the kitchen scene. So it was supposed to be like in between a dreamscape, but she feels like she's in a dream, but she's not in a dream. So that was the premise of that. Yes.
The onset of the psychosis.
The psychosis, yeah. Because what people don't know is that in Haiti, storms are traumatic. So to move somebody to the guest house, where my friend who's African American, she said, well, what's the big deal? She's going to the guest house. I said, but the people are communal and they stick together, so that's a traumatic thing for Dodo Titi people who don't understand that storms are very traumatic back home. Yeah. Yes. I can't see, so I'm
just shout.
In the white, yeah, just shout.
What did you shoot it on?
Okay. Dragon, yeah. Yeah.
And was it shot?
Actually, we shot on the weapon, I'm sorry.
Was it a weapon?
With the weapon.
It was a weapon, okay. It was in Jackson, New Jersey. I'm going to point to my godfather, raise your hands, and my godmother. It's a 5,000 square feet home with 3 acres of land. Cast and crew was 25 of us, and we all stayed there for 3 days to shoot the film. They opened up their home. Stand up! They sponsored their home, so I was fortunate because I was like, I live in Harlem, and I'm like, we can't really find a rich-looking place. So he offered his home for us to shoot. Yes. Lisa.
In our culture here in America, most of the help, like the movie or the book, usually were African Americans who had a slavery background. Mm-hmm. I notice now that it's kind of done a shift where you don't see a lot of African Americans who are the help. Yeah. You see a lot of Caribbean people, Latino or Latinas. Can you talk about the juxtaposition or how that made the switch? And, you know, is it kind of the same experience or a bit different, or what can you say about that?
It depends. I know for Dodo Titi, I made her background where she actually comes from a well-to-do family, which does exist, and they have to begin here again. I know the experience for those who are doctors and nurses back home, and they have to take jobs as maids or working in the kitchen. So it's a huge conflict where you were, you had a skillful job, or you're from well-to-do family, and then you come in America and you have to begin again. So yes, for some it's what they have to do to get to the next level in order to achieve the American dream.
Shift in cultural, monetary differences, right? So from slavery, you had nothing, you were looking for a job, that was like a job. Mm-hmm. So now, African Americans now have lived a life of going to college and going to school, they're more educated, and then you have the immigrant coming in who's now at the lower end of the pool, so to speak, and so they need to work. So it's really just that shift.
Some of them are not educated.
Right, but when it was just kind of more like the question of like why from slavery to immigrant. It's more like your social status. It's like you need to, no matter what your education or your background is, you need a job and you need to work, and if that's what the work is, then that's what you do. So that's where the shift has taken place.
We raised $10,500 on Indiegogo. Yes, for a month. It was intense, but we spent $15,000.
Talk more about the Indiegogo process. You're a first-time filmmaker, and a lot of seasoned filmmakers can't raise $10,000 on Indiegogo. Talk about that a little bit, because people need to hear the struggle and how you achieve the goal.
Yes.
Or whatever,
Be a pest.
Yeah, be a pest. It's a full-time job. So the first thing I did was reached out to friends and family, because what people don't understand is before you go live on these platforms, you need to show you have some money in there. That has been proven successful, at least have 15% of what you're raising. So I had my mother-in-law reach out to 5 of her friends, my husband reached out to 5 of his friends, and we went private for 2 weeks where people donated money. And then we went live, and I called my campaign My Birthday Wish, and I opened it on the day of my birthday. And you know, they say to be successful is usually between 30 to 42 days. You don't go beyond that. So I 3 times a week I post on social media. I reached out to people. I hit the local businesses. I was sending messages on Facebook, private messages. I sent personal emails with a letter. Hey, I haven't seen you, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I'm doing. This is my birthday wish. And you'd be surprised that people were donating. So it was pretty much every day I was reaching out, calling, texting. And then as we got closer to the campaign, you know, I went to overdrive with emails and the social media, hitting the local businesses again, and then we reached our goal. It's a full-time job. And then we did some press, we did radio interview, and that helped. And then I had a friend of mine help me raise $1,000 at my home. We had a party. And that helped to drive more people to donate. So that was my process.
Just have to be persistent and not afraid
To ask,
A lot of times
yeah.
you're just afraid to ask.
I mean, I reached out to friends I haven't seen since kindergarten, and they were my largest donors. Hey, how are you? How you been? I'm out, and $250 they donated. Some people I haven't even spoken to like in 10 years, but they were just excited because it was my birthday wish. I said I didn't want any gifts, but donate to the campaign. Yeah.
Can we talk to the lead actress and talk about how she, well, I'm a filmmaker, I have all the questions. The lead actress, can she talk a bit about the process of getting the role? I would love to hear about that because she did an excellent job.
Are you talking about Laura?
Yeah, Laura.
Thank you. Well, I happen to know the lead. We did a documentary film years ago, and Nadej was featured in a documentary film I co-directed with a British filmmaker named Simon Kerr. It was on the subject of eating and body image. And lo and behold, we bumped into each other on a Harlem street and realized we lived around the corner from each other. And Nadej, meanwhile, had been going to screenwriting class and had honed the script, and she had said, I have a film, and I at first thought, oh, I'll send it out to all the actors I know, and she said, but I was thinking maybe you want to do it. And I said, are you kidding me? I'd love to do it. So we auditioned, and oh, and by the way, the dog Biscuit is... So I'm a dog wrangler too. Anyone who needs a dog and a dog wrangler. But anyway, it was a really...
a full package. I see you have a dog, your dog is passed on.
It was an amazing experience. Really an amazing crew and unforgettable. So very thankful.
Any more?
Why not? Recently I was on one of the, I think, filmmaker groups, and one of the actresses said, you know, she wishes she would be able to be a filmmaker or knows a filmmaker, or wishes she could shoot because she gets tired of waiting to be cast for something. That was your world. Talk about how you got from just being an actress to deciding to create your own content and kind of do the Tyler Perry thing and put yourself in it and showcase your talent as well. Talk about that process, because a lot of talent thinks that they have to wait for others to showcase their talent.
Okay, so for me, I took an 8-year pause because I got married and I have 3 children. So when I decided to come back, I just decided I couldn't come back the same way where you're knocking on the agent's doors and you're being sent out to these auditions, and a lot of times the parts you're reading for, you cringe because the roles are not that great, and the better ones are just very few. So I knew I could write, and I've always been told I should write, so I decided that if I was coming back, I was going to drive the wheel myself, and I just decided to hone the craft as a writer and write those roles that I feel like that's like meat and potato and that has all these dimensions and levels that I can play, and decided to just self-produce and cast myself in it and also give opportunities to other people. And you know, it's very challenging, particularly being an African-American woman, and the roles, you know, are not, we don't have that much of an opportunity, and for the really good roles also. So I decided, hey, I'm just gonna write the stories since I can. Yeah.